are back with another video. Before we get into the video, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. So it has been reported that Cardi B has lost 1.5 million monthly listeners on Purify in just 1 week, despite releasing 5 new versions of her album and several remixes. Okay, so let me know how y'all feel about it. It also was recently reported that despite releasing her new album, Cardi B has been losing a significant number of listeners on Purify. Her monthly audience has dropped to 32 million, meaning she has lost more than 6 million listeners overall. Now, the way I look at it, especially now, I feel like Cardi B gets support because people don't like Nicki Minaj, and they feel like Nicki is her biggest competition amongst all the other female rappers. Like, amongst all the other female rappers, nobody is even coming close to 200,000 first week except Cardi B. You know, she did 199 first week, but the other girls can't even do 100K. So I feel like people support Cardi B out of spite, but are the girls really checking for Cardi B? No. She don't even have a hit on her album. She put out all them damn collaborations and nobody is talking about her album, and it came out in September. Isn't that weird to y'all? Like, it had no longevity despite what her fans may think. So in my opinion, I just feel like she gets support out of spite. Now, it looks like it has been reported by Megan Cuniff and other reporters during the Megan versus Milagro trial that Devil Nation was sneak dissing Nicki. Now, they asked a Devil Nation rep, do you know who Nicki Minaj is? Someone answered, I once saw her on television, so I think I know who she is. Then they asked, would you consider Nicki to be an A-list celebrity? The rep responded, in hip-hop, yes. And then they said, what about Miss Pete? Devil Nation rep said yes. Milagro's attorney said, if that's in hip-hop. And the Devil Nation rep said in entertainment. It also was revealed that Megan Thee Stallion's witness from Devil Nation revealed that Megan was supposed to have a Call of Duty skin first, but Megan pulled out due to PTSD. And so they gave it to Nicki Minaj. Now, I remember Cardi B saying something similar that, you know, she was supposed to be in a Call of Duty commercial with Lil Baby or something of that sort. But because she was going to court, which, you know, she usually do every month is court and never the studio, she was unable to make the shoot for the Call of Duty commercial. I could have sworn Cardi B came up with the same excuse. Now, in my opinion, I don't understand why Nicki Minaj is getting brought up. They even brought up allegedly the Bigfoot diss that Megan Thee Stallion never really responded to, trying to say that Megan doesn't really go after big artists or big platforms, but she goes after smaller platforms, which I'm like, well, yes and no. I agree, but kind of don't. And the reason why I agree, but kind of sort of don't, is because I think rap is different than blogging. Yes, I do believe that Megan and Cardi B pick on urban, smaller blogs, not the TMZs. Definitely, you won't see Megan really beef with the Shade Room because their platform is too big. Cardi B did it and basically got blackballed. They don't post her. So I do believe both Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion are very strategic about who they go after when it comes to blogs. But I feel like one of the main reasons why Megan didn't go after Nicki Minaj, even though she threw shade first in the Piss record, you know, well, technically they both were throwing shade before that. But Megan definitely kind of started it because even before Red Ruby the Sleaze came out, she was sneak dissing. But the point of the matter is, I feel like she distinctively doesn't go after Nicki Minaj because she wants to look like a victim. I don't think it really has to do with Nicki having a bigger platform. I think it has to do with the fact that she always wants to be looked as the victim. Okay? And that's how she makes her money. We're not even talking about the music when it comes to Megan Thee Stallion. Megan just put out a song literally 2 weeks ago and nobody's talking about it. You know why? Because when it comes to Megan, she thrives only around drama. Okay? It's never about the music. What happened to Lover Girl is flopping. So I think that's why she didn't respond to Bigfoot. Plus, everybody was saying it was trash. So I think she felt like she don't need to. But I think the main reason why, and this is just my opinion, is that she likes being the victim. So moving on from that, Doja Cat fans are calling her out for not doing outfit changes and putting more of an effort into her tour. A fan said, I'm going to need a costume change somewhere in there to like IDK take the wig off halfway through or something. Okay, so people are saying the way she looks on stage is kind of lazy. They don't like the wigs. They don't like the outfits. And she said, watch me not do any of these things. Here's the thing. Outfit changes, wigs, hair, stylists, that costs money. And I have some bad news for the kitty litters. Unfortunately, Doja's budget has went down because V flopped. So she doesn't have the budget for the outfit changes that she used to do before when she used to tour. Okay? So, unfortunately, that is the case for Doja Cat because you guys did not buy the album. Then she continued to drag her own fans. She said, you're such a little cunt, go F yourself, and I'm not your effing costume monkey. I move at my own pace and break my effing back out there every night so you can keep your bullshit opinion to yourself. You are not the artist, you are the watcher. Wow. Now, Doja Cat, I don't think it's a good idea for you to be dragging your fans and telling them not to come to your show and F off and all that stuff, considering you only sold 57,000 first week. Next time you drop, I can see you selling 20 to 30,000, which is going to be a flippity floppity flop. So I think you should pipe down. No shade. Now, moving on from that, GloRilla got to come to the front of the congregation and receive 50,000 lashings. I like GloRilla. I do consider her the princess currently of rap. But a lot of fans have been complaining about GloRilla being on R&B and pop records. She was on Musty Walker's Ballers song, ruined that. She was on the Flow song, Flow the Group. I didn't mind her verse, but, I could have done without. And she was on Holly Bailey's new album. Didn't mind her verse again on the album, but I could have done without it. And I guess she's clapping back at the fans who no longer want her on R&B songs. So she decided to tweet, I will be doing an R&B album. No, the fuck you will not. Okay, GloRilla, stop. Stop. I know you're trying to be petty, but GloRilla, you do not belong on R&B albums. You just don't. You don't belong on anything except rap, and it's country bumpkin rap that you belong on. There's certain level of rap that where you wouldn't fit in. No shade. Like you and Kendrick Lamar and Nicki and J. Cole would not sound good on a song. I'm sure they can dumb it down to your level, right? But there are certain areas in rap where you would not fit in. Okay? So I feel like with GloRilla, just stay in your lane. I don't understand it. It's like not every artist has to be outside the box, or not every artist needs to do multiple genres. That's the thing. It's like, I think a lot of artists think, oh, I could do multiple genres. No, the fuck you cannot. Okay? If Megan can't really do it, Megan can't make an R&B album, and she got more bars than you, I don't think you can do it. I think you did ruin, like Sexy Red did, you did ruin Summer Walker's album. no shade. And I think also with GloRilla is that she's very popular amongst the industry right now. So they're just letting her hop on anything, but she can't do that. So if you make an R&B album, I will be giving you another 50,000 lashings. Now, Rihanna liked this interesting video on I believe it was TikTok or Instagram, which a lot of people feel like is shade towards the Carters. So let's take a listen to what the video says.
Rooms with the biggest luminaries: Kanye, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Katy, J. The energy in the room is all pushed towards Rihanna. It has nothing to do with record sales. It has nothing to do with how many number ones you got. It has everything to do with star power. And star power is an authenticity. That girl is the most authentic human being in the music business. Like, there's something about that girl, Robin Fenty. It's not by a coincidence she's a billionaire or she built $1 billion brand with Fenty. When Rihanna's in the room, everybody knows that's the biggest star on the planet.
So let me know how y'all feel about it. She liked this post. A lot of people feel like it was shade towards the Carters. And as we know that Rihanna and Queen B don't have the best of relationship. I don't care what nobody says or what the fans say, because they've been in the same circle for years and never worked together, but worked with everybody else. Let's be very clear. So in my opinion, I feel like Rihanna still has animosity towards the Carters because Queen B leaked anti. Okay? But all I have to say about it, whether you disagree or you agree, my whole thing is when they sabotage you even more, do not complain. You know, that's my thing with Rihanna. You know, because behind the scenes, she complains about the Carters sabotaging her and how they sabotage anti. That's one of the real reasons why she don't want to put out music. But when they do it again, don't complain because you liking shady stuff. Now, moving on from that, we do have to give Musty Walker her 10s. She saw the predictions for her first week sales and she was like, no, I'm not going to allow y'all to let me flop. So she dropped, I believe, 2 new songs. Take Me Out This Club, Drown in My Love. Oh, actually 3 songs. And 1-800-Heartbreak Solo. Well, that's not, I don't think that's new. On streaming platforms, okay? Now, I listened to Take Me Out This Club, and that is a bop. She should have made it a single. See, this is the Musty Walker we like. Not that nonsense you put out with Sexy Red and Gorilla Glue. That was trash. And I think that if she really smart, she gets SZA on the remix. Okay? I think Musty Walker and SZA, they need to come back together because Take Me Out This Club, this is definitely a boppity bop. But I will also say, and this is just my opinion on it, I will say that I do think Rob You is one of the best songs, R&B songs of the year, featuring Mariah the Scientist. You know, usually I, don't really care for the Mariah the Scientist part, but Rob You is a bop. And I do think that the collaboration she got with Doja Cat and Scratch Off is a good song too, Go Girl. But I feel like people don't like it because she's not really singing on the song. She rapping. Scratch Off to me had the hardest verse. And I don't really like to give Scratch Off her props like that, but she did have the hardest verse out of Summer and Doja Cat. No shade. We got to talk about the new big 3. Absolutely. Now, Nas put out a song, I believe it's called D0JA, and he said, how did it slip? Now it's just Doechii, Dot, and SZA with the most powerful hits. And everybody is calling them the big 3, the new big 3. Now, there has been a lot of different big 3s. People used to refer to Nicki, Riri, and Queen B as the Holy Trinity. And then it was Nicki, Champagne Thickums, and Wayne that were the big 3. J. Cole said in First Person Shooter that him, Champagne Thickums, and Kendrick Lamar were the big 3. And Kendrick Lamar said, F no, there is no big 3, it's just big me. Okay, so there's been a lot of big threes. Now, let me know in the comments who do you think is the big three. Because right now, the king of queens, Nas, and mind you, Dot, SZA, and Doechii, they rap LA. They rap the West Coast. That's what TDE is, the West Coast. They don't rap New York. So the fact that Nas, the king of queens, is giving Doechii, Dot, and SZA praise and saying that they are the big three, basically, that's a big title. Now, I definitely wouldn't mind, Dot and SZA being in the big three. I feel like they put in the work in. But Doechii could never be in the big three. You sell 11K first week. But because she won that Grammy for, I think, best rap album, best hip hop album, a lot of people are letting their delusion get to their head. Okay, because Doechii definitely should not be in no big three category. She just got here. Let's be very clear. She need to pipe down. Let's relax. There's a lot of de-sucking going on around here. Now, he also mentioned Leon Thomas and Shabuzi, but in my opinion, Shabuzi is a one-hit wonder. What happened to Shabuzi after that bar song? Nothing. Okay, that you a one-hit wonder, so I don't know why he mentioned Shabuzi. But I can see why he mentioned Doechii, Kendrick, and SZA, even though I don't fully agree that Doechii should be in the big three, only because I feel like she hasn't put in enough work. And the same thing with Shabuzi and Leon Thomas. They just got mainstream, I'm like, why are you name dropping them? That's just weird. But let me know who you guys think is in the big three. Now, moving on from that, it has been reported by TMZ that the police have been investigating David, the singer, and basically he is now a suspect in killing the girl named Celeste. Basically, it was reported that he took a trip in the middle of the night to a remote area of Santa Barbara County and remained there for several hours. Okay, but they're not really giving the time frame of when he took this trip. Now, if you want to know what's really going on with David and Celeste in this case, is on Patreon. Link would be in the description. But in my opinion, I feel like they took too long to come up with this information. This is very vague. And I just feel like, I'm not saying that they're lying, but the police do be lying. And I feel like they not even really giving dates in regards to when this occurred. They just saying he took a trip. Okay, well, what day did he take the trip and how did you get this information? And the thing about the police, they will conjure up stuff. I'm not saying that they lying, but I just feel like it took you 4 months to come up with this vague ass story. Come on now, stop. They not really doing their due diligence. So I feel like this is a chop in my opinion. But anyway, I got some very hot tea on Ckiminaj, Sydney Sweeties, and Zendaya, Taylor's wedding. Link will be in the description. I hope you have a great day.